Because evidently this needs to be said, I do not want you guys to go to today's Target for the purposes of giving them a hard time. Please do not pester these people at all. Thank you. Let there be no survivors. So way back in March, I did a video on a user by the name of Perrypuss Productions. He did a rant on how he felt Cartoon Network was bad because of really arbitrary reasons, and in response to that, he basically told me to die, and that he'd feel no remorse if I were to die in a fire. I, of course, did a response to that, and in response to that, one of Perrypuss's friends did a video on me, which restated a lot of the points from Perrypuss's first video on me. I promptly did a video on that because, honestly, it was no better than the video I covered in my second video. One video about killing weeaboos later, and he decided that it was best for both of us to bury the hatchet, and I agreed. About 7 months later, he decided it was a good idea to get another friend involved to a drama that I had thought been buried and decayed to the point it was only a pile of bones, only to grab a handful of half-assed information to try to do an expose on me that failed about as hard as Automagic Critic. Now, let me clear the air. In all honesty, I was done with Perrypuss. At the end of this, I probably will be done with him again. The thing is, a lot of these particular arguments are one I constantly get on certain occasions, and I feel this would be a great way to address them all. So, no, RankerRants, I'm not doing this for you. I'm not doing this for Perrypuss. Fuck, I'm not even doing this because this is a drama that I thought we all had died 7 months ago. No, I'm doing this for all my detractors. Every single person who wants to use these absolutely childish arguments against me in a pathetic attempt to smear the name that I had built over the course of 5 years I have attended to my YouTube channels. You're just gonna be the punching bag that we're all gonna watch me wail at for the next, at minimum, 30 minutes or so. There's not gonna be any beating around the bush. You guys are going to learn way more about me than I originally thought anyone was actually going to learn about me. All this stuff is out to the public. You guys can find this information. In fact, a whole lot of this will have screenshots to what it is I'm talking about. Nothing is off the table. You guys are gonna see this get really ugly. So let's begin.
I love you, Ellen! Yeah, Ellen! A brand new video on the goddamn internet. Today we are actually going to be ranting about this crazy weeaboo fucker who has affected the life of young Dickard Sauce. Now, Dickard Sauce, what happened?
Show us your tits,
Yeah,
Ellen.
man, this 19-year-old girl fucking roasted me like a ham. It's so hard to get through the day, you know? And if that isn't enough, after that...
Shut the fuck up, nobody cares.
She made her fans witch hunt me and fuck my butthole without any lube.
Oh, be quiet, you putrid scum monkey. You know damn well that I didn't support any of my fans doing that. After your little friend said that my fans were attacking you, I had actually addressed them, telling them not to do that. I have never supported my fans witch hunting those I commentate on, and just so I don't leave you without proof.
But now your viewers are going after my friend and disliking his video.
If they are, I do not support that. And to my viewers, if you are, stop it. If it does get to the point of harassment, I will probably wind up helping them in forcing you to stop. You do not attack these people for any fucking reason. Sure, this was toward the end of the third video in the saga, but here's the thing. I actually addressed the problem when it was first given to me. Fuck, your little tirade against my first video on you was certainly not actually there to address any fans that I may have had at the time attacking you. Else I would have addressed it there on the spot. In fact, I still have said video in the saga, and I happily reposted it with a wonderful link in the description of this video if you don't believe me. We'll be coming back to this video several times throughout this video, so you best buckle in, Perrypuss. You want a time of your life with no lube? I'll give you just that.
Yo, that's Hot Poppy.
So, like, no lube? Like, nothing?
Not even a little.
Oh my god. That's awful.
My ass still hurts to this day.
Wowzers. Okay, so, we are gonna stick these fucking body pillows right up their buttholes. So that being said, let's get into this shit.
Now, while I'm here, can I address the elephant in the room? Actually, no. It's best to save it for later. Gonna be much better there. But I do want you guys to remember this little sketch at the beginning of the video because it will be something we will return to. I think you may have reposted this in the wrong neighborhood.
2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat.
Hey, what is up, everybody? RankerRants here. Today, if you actually did not guess from the little kind of skit in the beginning, we are going to be fucking ranting about Doodle Tones, this weeaboo who has had it coming for about, let's see, 3 months. We actually gave her a 3-month notice.
Did you? Because I was under the impression that Perrypuss and I kind of left one another to our own devices. You know, after we both agreed to let that drama go. But I guess Perrypuss actually legitimately could not handle the idea that he was actually being criticized with actual criticisms that he never returned to me.
And she apparently did not want to take it. So, that being said, let's get into this shit.
Oh boy. Okay, so let me just get this retort out of the way. Does my voice at all invalidate what I have to say? If I'm to say a healthy patch of grass is green, does the fact that I have a high-pitched voice make that statement at all false? Does healthy grass suddenly turn gray? No? Then why the fuck is my voice an issue? Unless you cannot actually understand what it is I have to say, it actually is a non-issue that should never be brought up as a point against me. However, it's a point that way too many people feel the need to put against me.
Hey guys, so the first thing that you've actually fucking guessed from the goddamn title transition thing, we're gonna be talking about her voice. Now, if you're not familiar with actual doodle tones, then you won't know what her voice sounds like. Okay, now, so I'm just gonna real quick play a tiny clip of what her voice sounds like.
Top 10 female characters. Number 1, Hanzo.
Excuse me, Hanzo is not the best female character. Junkrat obviously is. Hanzo? More like Hans. No. Ha ha, funny meme.
You're mean as shit. Everyone knows Rayman is the best Bayman. Jeez.
Yeah, so see, actually, in that video, she, like, used her real voice, and then the ending was what her voice normally is in all of her videos.
That's interesting. Are you referring to Ryan or Autumn? Because there are 3 people within that video your audience may not know who it is the fuck you're even referring to. I mean, either way, you're fucking retarded as neither are correct answers.
My real voice sounds more along the lines of another generic fuck on the internet. Yeah, this is my real voice. I'll explain this later.
Till then, once again, this will come back to be important later.
Now, the reason I actually didn't even put one of her videos in with her fucked up high-pitched voice is because all of her videos are at least 2 hours long.
Which is why you played a video containing the voice that I normally use and specifically chose the shortest video on my commentary list being 19 seconds. On top of that, the examples you give aren't even the main content of my channel. You gave an example of a live stream and a Roblox video, of which are normally unedited gameplay footage. I mean, come on, if you want to give examples to give your audience some sort of idea of who I am, you could have, you know, showed a clip from a real commentary. I do enough of those, and some short enough for your pathetically short attention span to watch. Point is, your examples suck.
No, but in all seriousness, many people who watch her videos actually kind of find this quite annoying. Even most of her fans. You probably can't see me though, but I put quotation marks on that.
Now, there's 2 ways to take the following statement. You're either saying those complaining about the voice changer are not my fans, or you're trying to take a potshot by saying that I have no fans to begin with. If it's the former, then I would sit here and say that that's not entirely true, as I know some of my fans actually do like the sound of my real voice more than the voice changer. I'm aware they exist, but I'm also aware that they're vocal minority. If it's the latter, then who are all those fans that witch hunted your buddy Perrypuss Productions, and more to the point, who are those 3.5 thousand people who are subscribed to my channel? Either way, your superciliousness is being substituted for blatant stupidity, and that tends to happen when you want to be leafiest here.
So, yeah. Like, it's just really annoying to kind of be watching a video. It's like Leafy, but with real shit editing. Like, me, I at least put some time and effort in. She just puts, like, a thumbnail with some anime characters on and then calls it a fucking video.
First off, I'm like Leafy? Me, the one who's actually currently using points and logic to actually debunk you instead of going around saying, oh, you are literally 14 years old, as if that's some sort of point against you. Oh, and guys, jot this down again, as this will be important again later. Anyway, that said, let's go ahead and touch on that wonderful editing jab you so nicely laid in front of me, because is that what you call your video? Effort? A bunch of half-assed templates for your transitions and low-quality Borderlands footage is effort? Now, you may bring up that wonderful little intro skit, but we moved our avatars around. See how cool we are? Sure, you put enough effort into about 50 seconds of a 20-minute video. Whatever. Grant you, yours and Perrypuss's avatars look like crap incarnate, being lower quality than a ripped thumbnail. Honestly, I don't know why you guys assumed it was a good idea to make your avatars seem like they're being looked at from afar by someone who's nearsighted, but that was not a good idea. On top of that, let me try to look at the avatar designs and try to figure out what's going on with them. Yours has haha funny Leafy memes as you took some naked body, put your head on it, stuck not 1 but 2 joints in your mouth because 840 blazing it till you can't blaze no more, stuck 2 more joints in your nipples, put Mickey Mouse gloves on right over the panties, that shows us how much of a dickless weasel you are, and of course that's not mentioning the abhorrent pixels that follow him with that green box and black lines on your left or our right. Perrypuss has his head on what I presumed is a poorly chroma keyed Uncle Sam with a blunt in his hand because haha weed is still fun funny, right guys? Honestly, you're both pathetic as far as your little intro skit goes as well. Yeah, you bothered to keyframe a little bit before adding the same video effect Leafy and Carex do for their videos. You obviously put zero effort into actually making your avatars, and this is coming from someone who is currently using one that they didn't make at all, but still has 4 custom ones to their name with actual effort and care put into them. I mean, I won't disagree with you that I'm not the most edit-heavy person on the internet either. Sure, there are some cases where I go above and beyond, especially considering my intros aren't templated, but yeah, even I'll agree those moments are very few and far between. Though that's the case, sitting there and telling me how superior your gameplay footage commentary, actually no, not even a commentary, a rant is to my commentaries is absolutely retarded. As templates are as lazy as you can go, and gameplay footage over a rant is a substitute for actual substance, and I would know firsthand because I've done this, and you two dweebs know that I've done this. Seeing as later in this very video you guys are gonna bring it up, just a heads up. Anyway, I think my point has been made pretty clear in this tangent, so let's continue.
Like, literally all it is just, hey guys, Crystal here, so, Mr. Ego Man does not like my videos now. I do not like him now because he does not like my videos.
Of course you'd go off of a title to a video that you didn't even watch. That's all anyone seems to do nowadays. Sonic Master, Medicure, or Yizo, people can't be more logical as to not judge a YouTube video based on the title alone and more based on the content hiding inside said title. The video, King Ego Hates Me, was a response to a man who was so vehemently against me to the point he wanted an entire community that I'm a part of, mind you, to completely isolate themselves from me because I disagreed with his views. It wasn't simply because he dislikes my content. I couldn't give a fuck less if he did. It was the fact he tried smearing my name in the mud and tried to turn people who I would consider friends against me. You are simply strawmanning that whole video because you want to make me look like the lesser being without actually giving a crap to actually do research on the thing of which you are talking about with no substantial reasoning behind it that goes above read the title. And just like tons of other things within this video, this is actually going to bite you in the ass later.
Like, it's really kind of pure shit. Like, it's alright, but like, the video, just the voice in the video is just like, it makes it a million times worse. Like, just who are you trying to hide your voice from? Like, I probably want to get killed by, let's say about 15 people, and those 15 people may know where I live. They may not, I don't know. But, like, I'm literally showing my face and my voice. Like, I don't get who you're really trying to hide from.
Alright, the show us your real face argument finally rears its ugly head. I was wondering when that was gonna show up. Fun fact, I actually have shown my real face on videos. Videos that are actually really easy to find, mind you, all throughout my life on YouTube. Even back in the days of Sean the Kirby fan, as embarrassing as that is. And I inform these people constantly on live streams that these videos actually exist, and if people wanted to go out and actually look for them, they are in fact there. Here, I'll point out a few of them myself.
Hey guys, this is Sean the Kirby fan.
Doodle Tones? Say hello to you.
Seeing as though it did take you literally all day to finally get to me.
Welcome to a new style of video.
These videos are out there. I may not be the biggest fan of them, but that's because I fucking hate how I look, and if I could be quite honest, putting myself on camera just kind of puts me in a really bad mood, which is simply why I don't do it anymore. This can also be attributed to my voice changer as well, as along with a handful of other reasons. Personally, I just hate how my real voice sounds. I don't know why this has to be an issue that gets brought up as much as it does, but as the case as it is, I'm transgender. I hate how I look, I hate how I sound, so I don't put myself on camera and use a voice changer. At this point, it's pretty common knowledge, and yet you two idiots act that this is some real nitty-gritty dirt that you have on me. And yes, Bork, this goes for you and your little Kiwi Farm Form suck buddies, too. You guys don't actually really have anything on me that I haven't told the entire internet about, and it's actually quite funny that you think you do.
So, that being said, let's get into the next topic.
You know, I wished you would stop talking, but I didn't think my wish would come true 4 minutes into the video.
I'm not gonna lie. So now it's my turn again, and today we're actually gonna be talking about her fucking age and kind of, you know, bending the truth a little bit. Yep, you heard it right here, folks. Your favorite weeaboo YouTuber is a liar and is not allowed to be on the internet. Now, I'm guessing that she is most likely not 19, as she says, because if you're 19, you're most likely not going to be living with your grandma and your brother, unless, well, you live at home while going to college.
Hey, moron, not everyone can move out at the age of 18. Not everyone can go to college immediately out of high school. You assuming people can shows you have no idea how the world works. Some people in their 20s still live with their parents because they cannot afford to move out, and that's just the cruel reality.
And pretty sure that you're not going to be, you know, restricted from the internet whenever you're a legal adult.
But see, that's the thing, I'm not restricted from the internet. I know where this is going and your whole argument is going to be based on assumptions, but my whole family knows that I do YouTube. Not all of them watch my YouTube, but they do know that that's what I do, and they know this is what I've done for just over 5 years now. And they accept it. If I was truly restricted from the internet, I wouldn't be here at 3.5 thousand subscribers now, would I? This is you actually not using your brain here. My little brother is connected to my account in the sense that he's in my featured channels box, and he has appeared in the comment sections of my videos. I even did the editing to one of his videos, honestly. If I wasn't allowed on the internet, I wouldn't be here. Hell, he's probably watching this video right now. Hi, Poinator. God, I'm a dork.
Like, what the fuck, dude? I'm 14 and I'm still on the internet cussing and doing this shit. You don't see me doing anything like, oh, don't show me, don't look at me. You know, like, literally, you just need to actually kind of fuck off with this shit and don't let them touch your account. Like, right here, I actually have a pic from her DeviantArt page where she's chatting about, you know, her account getting stolen by her grandma and her brother.
Alright, so let me put up the post you're gonna take 1.5 billion years to pull up. This right here is what you're actually referring to. Spoiler alert, you don't actually pull this DeviantArt journal up, you pull this other DeviantArt post that doesn't actually explain jack shit, so kinda let me go ahead and go into depth about why my grandmother and my brother affected my DeviantArt account. Indirectly. See, prior to dropping out of high school, I was homeschooled. Yes, this does mean I was a homeschool dropout. Actually not that important. But what should be noted is the kind of high school that I was a part of during my years of homeschool. Online classes from the K-12 program, specifically an online school called KOVA. Now, what should be noted about online school is that it's absolute garbage, what with every class having different layouts to one another, all doing their own things differently, had awkward schedules that overlapped one another in an infuriating attempt at organization. Sure, the classwork on its own could have been done at its own pace. However, turning that schoolwork in was an issue. During this time frame, I understandably got stressed out and started, well, venting on my DeviantArt. Yes, I'm not the most proud of that, but it was on my DeviantArt and stayed there because I was certain no one was gonna really care years later. And of course I was wrong, because during the course of 2015, my grandmother started learning how to use a computer and wanted to see what her grandchildren were up to online. My little brother pointed her in the direction of both his page and my page. His page was perfectly fine because all he did was Lego and Minecraft pictures. Mine, on the other hand, understandably worried her because of pictures like the ones seen on screen, and several journals that related to suicidal thoughts because, well, again, I was stressed. She started talking to me about having a mental illness due to the stuff that I was posting and wanted me to see a therapist. Personally, a therapist would have only made things worse at the time, so I went on to DeviantArt and put a bunch of the vent art under the mature filter along with anything else she could contort into a reason to send me to a therapist office, and hopped onto a new account to get away from that. Occasionally coming back to the Doodle Tones account so I could post some things for groups and actually continued putting art there, but of course that kind of just died after a while as I focused on the new page until sometime this year where I kind of just stopped using DeviantArt as much altogether because I wanted to focus on YouTube. I don't expect you guys to believe the story I just told because, you know, it's coming from me and you guys want every chance you can to discredit me, but the fact of the matter is that's the chapter of my life. That's something I had to do. I got off of that DeviantArt account because my cringy teenage phase was worrying family.
So let's play that little picture. So, yeah, let's get into that shit. So, right here is her fucking DeviantArt page. Now, if you don't know what DeviantArt is, it's pretty much like a website where mainly weeaboos kind of post their anime pictures and shit. Now, if you do not think that this is Doodle Tones, look at the goddamn title and the fucking like weeaboo kind of art shit. Like, this is literally her thumbnails. Just weird shit. Like, it's not even good art. Like, I'm not very good at fucking computer drawings, but goddamn, like, there is a line at which it needs to be good.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let me just put this off to the side, too.
Now, right now, you're probably thinking, wait, you were gonna show us the evidence. What the fuck? Where's the evidence? Just chill, alright? We're gonna get into the goddamn evidence. You know what? Better yet, let's do it right now.
So you spend all that time talking about the evidence to not show the evidence and kind of just set yourself up for failure later, then to backtrack on and say, okay guys, now I'm ready to show the evidence. Was this at all scripted? Was this at all thought out? Because part of me highly doubts it. You're just blindly walking around looking for what fucking light switch is there without realizing you're just in a giant cardboard box.
Yep, that's right, you guessed it. It is now finally time to expose Doodle Tones for her fucking lies and pretty much just overall being a douche. So, the evidence here, as you can see, I went and kind of dug deep into kind of information about her that she really wasn't smart enough to cover up.
Oh no, you did a second's worth of research on someone without actually caring to read more into it. I'm so dumb. Yeah, obviously I'm gonna have to call bullshit on this because if you did as much digging as you say you have, then you would have known things that I have been pointing out this whole video. Again, going back to the Kiwi facts, at least they cited their sources and continuing doing more than glance over what was there. I can at least give them a shred of credit where it's due, as their retarded assumptions actually did have some ground to stand on, whereas you, on the other hand, tried staring at a brick wall for about 5 minutes before claiming that it's the worst piece of art that you have ever laid your eyes upon. And while I'm on the Kiwi forums, allow me to actually turn to address them myself, because I just love the fact that this exists. I'm gonna be honest, the whole lot of you aren't any less autistic than you guys claim that I am, as you guys go on and on about stuff that I don't care that people who don't know me personally can see without realizing that I left that stuff up. Obviously, it was left up on purpose because I have nothing to hide. Be honest with yourselves. Do you guys think I would have left up my mistakes and weirdness online if this was stuff that people could actually use against me? No. Obviously I would not. This stuff has been left up for years, and during that time I was trying to become popular on YouTube. I've told people about stuff that I do. I've told people about my interest in fetishism, and how it bugs me that people do seem to think it should never be posted. Hell, I went after Medicare knowing that there was gonna be some asshole on 8chan digging this shit up to use against me because fuck, it's 8chan. That place has a reputation of a bunch of scumfucks that say and do worse shit than anything I've really done and get away with it because they know they can stay anonymous. Hell, I tried giving Borg ammunition against me because yes, I have done weird shit. I have done stuff considered cringy. Hell, I still do stuff considered cringy and weird. And it's all under the Doodle Tones name. I'm not gonna say that I don't care about the little doodle form on me because the fact that I'm even addressing it shows that I do. But the thing is, I put myself out there like this because it's fun and I enjoy doing what I do. If that makes me some lolcow, then fuck it, I'll wear that title with pride. I mean, fuck, all it really means is you guys laugh at my expense anyway. And be honest with yourselves, even without Automagic, Borg, and Medicare being a factor, you guys would still laugh at me. Alright, now that that's out of the way, let's continue with the expose.
So I went on her DeviantArt, and she pretty much had just a full-blown conversation about why she's not allowed to have a internet account, like whether it be on YouTube or DeviantArt or any of that, because her grandma apparently, get this, thinks she is mentally insane, which I don't blame her grandma. Like, this bitch literally just makes her videos 10 times shittier on purpose because she thinks it sounds good.
Alright, first of all, again, I never said that I wasn't allowed to have it, I just didn't want my grandmother to worry anymore. Sure, I was annoyed at the fact that I had to put stuff into the mature filter, but that was due to the tedium of having to go through 4 years worth of art. Also, I'm mentally ill because I use a voice changer? I mean, I guess if that's what you want to call it. The voice changer is more as a result of being trans, which isn't considered a mental illness as far as science is concerned. Though that doesn't stop people from believing transgenderism is a mental illness, which I have stated in the past I believe, just due to the fact it would be taken more seriously than it is. Yeah, I keep an unpopular opinion, that doesn't mean I can't look at what's there.
So here she is trying to, well, be kind of intelligent and think that she's pretty smart. But in reality, she's pretty much just doing a simple human task by going onto the settings on their Wi-Fi and blocking a word. They do this at my school. It's pretty fucking simple.
What? No. What I did was I chose a username with a common word that would throw them off. There's a message that was hidden by me basically hiding the username in question. God, you really are an idiot! Not only that, but yeah, it's simple. That doesn't make it any less intelligent. Honestly, if that's how intellect works, smart would rarely be used to describe anyone just due to the fact that they aren't scientists. It's in the thread, right there. Read, idiot, read!
So pretty much what's going on here is this little person who apparently likes her videos asks, but doesn't this mean that your grandma can just like see you on the internet? And to which Doodle Tones replied, simple, I won't give her or my brother any part of my accounts. And then the person goes on to say, well, but you, if they were smart, they could find it really easily, which pretty much is kind of true. But then Doodle Tone says, not really, I hide pretty well. Now, that pretty much is kind of wrong if you're saying that you're a 19-year-old and you're literally getting exposed by someone who might be 5 years younger than you.
You know, this is actually pretty funny knowing how Perrypuss had claimed that I was a 4-year-old back in March. You're going off this notion that I'm too young for the internet without realizing that if that was the case, then you're exposing someone who's 10 years younger than you are. And with that in mind, what the fuck does that make you in Perrypuss?
Your age should not deflect you from criticism. Your age does not protect you from never having to hear someone tell you you're wrong. Your age doesn't protect you from shit all.
Sure, age isn't a shield from criticism, but that's not what RankerRants here is trying to give. He's trying to expose me as someone who can't even try to step to the likes of him and Perrypuss because they're the big kids, without realizing that if I'm as young as they believe, then they are actually quite pushing a little kid into the wood chips off the swing set for calling them stinky pants, overreacting to the fact that they were called out. On top of that, a lot of this is quite inconsistent when you look back at the fact that he either claimed Ryan or Autumn were my real voice. So which is it, fucker? Am I someone who's 4 or am I still older than you no matter which way you slice it? You're being incredibly inconsistent here, as it's actually pretty hilarious.
Because literally you're saying that you're 19 years old, you're not allowed to be on the internet, so you hide your voice. So then if your brother or your grandmother find that your fucking account, you will get it terminated and you will have to hand it over to them.
No, I have, like, literally said that I use a voice changer on the basic principle that I am, like, literally in transgender and, like, literally totally hate my real voice. Of who I am and what I am, which, to inform you, is transgender. From there, I hope you can make that connection that I fucking hate myself. And this goes for the reason that I use a voice changer. On a side note, honestly, can we just drop the word literally from our vocabulary? Either that or use it correctly, because anytime people use it as a substitute for figuratively, I literally want to hit them over the head with the dictionary.
Now, I think that's pretty much like a little kindergartner kind of a thing. I honestly would not really care about like a 19-year-old on the internet unless you were sending nudes or anything to people, but you know, if you look anything like your anime drawings, I don't think anybody wants any part of that.
Ha. Ha. No, it wasn't funny when Luke's other friend did it. It's not funny now. Get better memes, plebeians.
Well, now that we have gotten that out of the way, now we should get on to our next topic.
Okay, no. Even I'm aware of how absolutely toxic my fan base can be, and I have addressed it many a time on Twitter and asked. The fact that my fans got a video of mine DMCA'd down by Emmer Prevost due to them apparently pestering him and had another person threaten to DMCA my video due to my fans apparently attacking them is enough for me to get on their case. Hell, I started putting up a disclaimer at the beginning of my video telling people not to go to these people's pages with the intent to pester and harass, yet evidently they do anyway, which shows that I'm not in control of my fans, nor will they respect to the fact that I don't want witch hunts. The least you can know is that I don't support them doing it and I wish they would cut it out.
Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate, like, pretty much every fan of a person I hate. Like, honestly, most of the FouseyTube fans, I don't give a shit about. But this person, their fans are just... what the fuck? Like, read these comments real quick. Fuck you, anime is my life, I'm so triggered right now!
Someone I cannot find in my subscribers.
Get out of my channel, Lego kid! Your channel is cancer. Then get out of my cancer!
Not found in my sub list, and going to their channel shows they aren't sub to me, so again, not one of my fans, just someone else you've pissed off.
If cancer and autism had a baby, this would be the offspring.
Also, not found in sub feed.
You are a dirty fucking nigger! Kill yourself, you walking tumor!
And also not found in sub feed. Look, if you could prove to me in some sense that these are fans of mine, that would be one thing, but all you did was show comments of people who are pissed off at you and just assume they are fans of mine on the basis of I called out Perrypuss in March. Not only that, but some of these comments are relatively new in comparison to that 7-month-old drama, so that gives me another reason to not at all just take the credibility of this segment as fact, but instead just assume that you hate hater comments, and trust me, I don't know of too many people who don't agree with that mindset. Hell, I'm totally with you on that. But don't assume that they come from me when they don't. Now, that said, could you have gotten hate comments from my fans? Yes, I wouldn't at all doubt that you have. But the fact of the matter is, the examples you gave aren't. They're simply people who found Perrypuss's brand of sketch comedy deplorable or simply unfunny. I had warned them that these people would eventually show up, and surprise, surprise, they did. Now, I know someone's gonna point to the whole Medicare thing, and trust me, I'm aware of how that sounds coming from me, but I'll address this when it comes up, because it certainly does show up later in the video, and when it does, I'll address it then. But for now, just know, I had warned you this would happen.
What the fuck? Like, are they fucking serious right now? Dirty fucking nigger. You are a walking fucking tumor. What? Oh my god. Okay, I think we've had enough fucking comments for a while. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. This is just too fucking funny. So, let's actually look at the fucking dislike to like ratio on Luke's videos after this shit happened. Like, fucking Doodletone sent all their fucking weeaboo fucking people to go, like, witch hunt him, and it's kind of funny. Like, he made one simple video, and now this happens. Alright, so this is after Luke made his Nickelodeon thing, and that doesn't seem all that bad. But this is it, like, after he made a response video to the Doodletones video. And the sad thing is, Luke didn't even make this video. Like, everyone keeps saying that he pretty much sent a fucking bulldog friend out to make this video for him, to stick up for him. His friend really just wanted to make the video for him, and, well, look where this got him.
But at the time of the video's release, all we knew was Perrypuss suddenly had a friend calling me out stating the exact same shit that your buddy Luke said prior with edits by Perrypuss of him being text. What the fuck were we supposed to do? Just assume that Luke wasn't mad enough to get his real life friends involved? Even taking out the fact that this was Luke's second video relating to me at the time the whole drama started, his first response to me would really show that he'd be willing to say or do anything to discredit me or get me off of his back. And hell, again, I had done just that after he asked to bury the hatchet and let this whole drama dissipate. But it appears to me he needs another swift kick to the groin, which is why he has you here doing this video for him. Which is really great because with each video you guys bring up the fact that I use an avatar for my videos without actually realizing that with 2 of the videos in this thread that came from Perrypuss has videos where he too was hiding behind some sort of anonymity shield. And yes, that includes this one. Also, you're bringing up examples where this drama was still fucking relevant. How about you bring up some more relevant examples of this phenomena happening? Oh wait, what's that? This actually hasn't been happening recently and you are only bringing up old examples to reignite a drama that has been dead for 7 months? Well, it looks like your necromancy has worked its magic because you happen to come at a time where just about everyone wants me off the internet for being a commentator.
Like, it's so sad. Even, like, many of the comments are just people saying, wow, you can't stick up for yourself, so you have to have your friends do it. Wow, guys, look at this sturdy fucking cunt. Can't even do shit for himself. Haha, pussy can't do this shit. He's too scared. Like, it's really kind of, it's, like, sad, because no one really does the research anymore to actually figure out if they're correct or not.
That's quite ironic coming from the kid who thought my Borg Productions video was about Borg simply not liking my content, thought Autumn-chan was my real voice, and thought that I'm not allowed on the internet despite having a channel that's in the thousands right now. I don't think you really have much room to boast about how much research you have done when you can't even find basic stuff that I say is on my channel. I also enjoy how you not only didn't provide screenshots of these supposed comments that were in Luke's comment section, but had Luke also conveniently put that video on private so no one could see the comment section and, you know, do their own research to see if you're spreading the same bullcrap that you've been spreading throughout this whole video. I mean, you have shown you're willing to provide evidence that hate comments are happening despite not showing evidence that they're subscribed to me, but yet you suddenly refuse to show evidence of comments on Luke's videos specifically relating to me? Something that really could have hit home how toxic my fans actually are, because I don't doubt that my fans actually can be that way, but considering everything else you leave us with, you don't really give me any reason to take that at face value.
Okay, kill. So here we are back in the comments, and let's start it off with a great one right here. Oh, fuck you, pal. I was watching to hear your side, but the minute I heard weeaboo, any respect I may have had for you shriveled and died.
That's not really a hate comment. That's more of someone disagreeing with the fact that you dorks actually use weeaboo as a means of criticism and debate, despite the fact that weeaboo isn't actually critique, but more of a buzz name to call someone who simply likes anime. Now, if you guys used it ironically, that would be one thing. You know, it'd be a joke that in of itself we could all laugh off, but you guys use it legit unironically as a way to discredit anything that I may say to you. May I remind you guys of who it was in these back and forths who, while being angry, used it as a means to call me out?
I'm just gonna be like, die. I would not care if you burned in a fire. You're just you're just a weeaboo.
I'll give you a hint. It wasn't me.
Like, just look at the goddamn fucking name. Origami Gem. Like, you can tell that's a goddamn weeaboo. But now, here we are. The country blumpkin. The fucking motherlode. The jackpot. Doodle tones her or himself. Now, this is a long one, so... See, this is like the fucking basic definition of a hate novel.
Implying my comment had any sort of hate within it, I simply addressed concern for the fact that he was choosing to act like a petulant child in his responses. However, not once did I actually refer to Luke as a petulant child. I tried being more mature about it and told him why I had zero reason to believe his video How to Get Rid of Weeaboos wasn't actually a response to me in some way. You see, this is what happens when you use ironic phrases unironically, kids. Anyway, go ahead and read this so-called hate comment where I clearly tell Luke to kill himself before calling him a nigger tumor.
So, let's actually read this book. Well, I saw this last night. I guess somebody subbed to you just to send me, you know, your content. The fact you don't even debunk your own straw man of me is quite entertaining. Now, I don't even think she meant straw man, but, like, I don't even get what like, she would have gotten that incorrectly with.
No, I meant Strawman. He took arguments that I made towards him during the Cartoon Network Sucks debacle and misrepresented them for his little weeaboo character to spout, so Luke had a reason to kill him off. Okay, honestly, neither you or Perry know what a weeaboo is, and that much is obvious, so let me educate you guys on what the word implies and why your baseless attack on me is just that, a baseless attack. A weeaboo is someone who thinks Japanese culture is overall superior than any other culture in the world. They shun the culture that they're from just to be Japanese. Just looking at any of my channels alone can tell you why you're using the term wrong.
You know, it's not anime, it's Japanese culture, alright?
What if I told you there are people in the world who like both shows? This is just going off of IMDb, so the numbers may be a bit unprofessional and unofficial, but by the looks of it, Rabbit has an average score of 6, and Tom and Jerry Show has an average score of 7. which shows that there is an audience for both of these shows. Try again.
And just because you don't watch Tom and Jerry doesn't mean other people don't watch Tom.
However, what I will say is Luke had told me his weeaboo character wasn't actually me, but more of a hypothetical fan of mine that I kind of just accepted and moved on from. Grant you, not before telling him that it really was not the best way of going about taking criticism, but kind of dropped it again. Moved on. Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna show the rest of that context because you had given me no reason to assume you were. That and I've watched this video prior, so I know damn well the rest of that thread between Luke and I wasn't gonna be shown.
So, just kind of leave that there. To tell you, however, that you haven't learned a thing during this time. You don't have any arguments against me, just throw around baseless assumptions and name calling. And then have gotten angry when I point out where problems are. The person before my first video on you, Adam Yerpis, took my video on him pretty well. He accepted the fact that what he did was wrong and learned from his mistakes. He can't be much older than you, and I really respect him for what he did. Okay, honestly, real quick, before we actually read any more. What the actual shit? You cannot be going around giving criticism on somebody if your own content is like complete garbo.
And now that pin finally dropped. I have been sitting on several points against you that have been saved throughout this video. The fact that you want to bring up quality as a means to whether or not someone can criticize another has to be one of the dumbest arguments I have ever fucking heard come out of anyone's mouth, because not only is it the dreaded two-quick fallacy that people seem to think is just the end-all be-all of everything, but in this particular variation of it is also the argument of you can't be a food critic unless you cook, which on its own is an absolute damned argument that shows just where your mindset is at. The argument of no food critics who can't cook on its own is retarded from the word go, because that basically undermines the whole idea of a critic. A critic is to give those who it is they're critiquing an idea for what their consumer base may enjoy and how to better improve for said consumer base. And in the case of YouTube videos, you know what I spend my time criticizing, it's to give them some facts that they may not know, give them some advice to maybe script or edit better, and maybe tell them that their microphone isn't fully audible or functioning. Now, that said, if you still want to go off the whole idea of no critics who can't cook, allow me to point to a couple aspects of this video that really hurt you here. For one, that sketch at the beginning of your video with absolutely abhorrent avatars and later where you admitted to not being very good at drawing on the computer before turning around and calling my art crap. Well, if we're to use the argument of no critics who can't cook, guess who just criticized a cook who's better at cooking than he is? That's right, you did. And then using the two-quick fallacy that you may add on to this argument, that would also imply that everything you just said here is totally invalidated. I can also point out your little earlier tirade of how people just assume without doing any basic research. And again, how you had done no research leading up to this point as well. Stuff that is easily findable and is right there for the public eye to see, so if critics can't critique crooks, then I guess that leaves you high up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. Your whole argument here tries to invalidate me, but goes off of one singular argument that doesn't realize why it doesn't work, because if being a hypocrite makes you wrong with a bunch of glaring hypocrisies in your video leading up to this point, then you yourself become the least critical person in the room. Basically, pot, quit making fun of kettle, you're both niggers. Try again.
Like, that's like a fish telling a deer that it needs to learn how to run better. Like, if that doesn't make any sense, then you honestly just need to get your brain checked. Like, it's a pretty random thing, but, you know, if you haven't noticed, fishes can't run.
Yeah, and gameplay-based leafy clones can't bring up arguments to save their life, and yet here you are, desperately trying to criticize me without bringing up any criticisms. What's your point? And in any case, let's use this fish-to-deer comparison. If the deer just barely gets away from its predator and finds a fish who tells him he needs to run better, then the fish still has a fucking point. Maybe the fish cannot help in the long run, but he still makes a valid point that the deer only barely escaped with his life, and maybe next time the deer won't be so lucky. So it would then be on the deer to take into consideration what the fish said and improve his speed, or get eaten the next time a pack of wolves decide it wants to get hungry. Hey, you wanted the off-color comparison, I can run with it either way.
The more we had our back and forths, you kept showing me you can't handle YouTube and kept showing lesser and lesser amounts of maturity. And this video is pretty much the nail in your coffin at this point. It's sad. Have fun and good luck with future critics. Perhaps one day you will learn how to take criticism and use it to improve rather than get outraged and flail about angrily. Honestly, like I said before, you should not be giving criticism if your content is, well, pure shit.
Enjoy the wolves then, little deer. Don't say the fish didn't warn you.
Like, honestly, if anybody was gonna give you criticism, like Luke did actually.
Did he? I covered his video on me. I have the video in the description. Please point to me as to where the criticism lays, because telling me to die and continuing to say I would not feel bad if you died in a fire is not criticism. Quite on the contrary, that's being very counterproductive. Oh, well, he told you to use your real face, but is that legitimate criticism? Is that any way to make my videos better production-wise? Will it help my videos look better? Because honestly, it feels like a preference against something that you don't enjoy. There are plenty of YouTubers out there who don't use their real face and have never shown their real face. RPG Minx, I Hate Everything, Cryoptic, Taught in the Shadows. Dude, you could make a list of this stuff.
he started out calm, and he was like, you should probably not make your voice sound like a high-pitched donkey dying. And then she just got all pissed off and, well, started this whole feud, pretty much.
And she's gonna be like, oh, actually, this is incorrect. And I'm just gonna be like, die. I would not care if you burned in a fire. You're just a weeaboo. That's all it is. You're just a weeaboo. Go tell her about this freaking video. Do it. Right now. I actually would want you to see this video.
Oh yeah, real calm. Luke was the fucking poster child of calm. Way to twist the facts there. Practically screaming victim while pointing to Doodletones the douchebag who overreacted to criticism that wasn't there to begin with. Links below, everyone can see how full of shit you are.
So, if you're gonna tell somebody that they need to be able to, well, take maturity and like, actually take criticism and learn from it, you should probably do the same instead of being, well, a fucking hypocrite.
You know, that's absolutely hilarious that you say I couldn't take criticism at the time after, you know, I got done being the commentary community's punching bag for the month of February and was still busy using the criticism given to me at the time. Like, oh boy, you have no clue, do you? That research is really showing, kid. Considering Perrypuss happily deleted his first video on me and privatized the second video on me, I don't at all doubt that you couldn't do your happy little research to see Luke being in the right, but it's obviously put you in the spotlight knowing how easily you twist the fucking facts to put them in favor, but the facts are not a sponge. The facts are there to look at and make their own decisions about, but the facts, as I see it, were Luke overreacted. It's kind of hard not to convince me otherwise when he winds up stating,
I'm just gonna be like, die. I would not care if you burned in a fire.
Like, honestly, like I said before about the fish and the deer thing, if you're gonna be a fucking fish and tell a deer that it needs to learn how to run better, you should probably be able to run better than them before you actually give criticism and, well, pretty much basic points on it, and then be like a complete douche about it.
that was me being a douche? Really? That was me being a douche. Oh boy, when you see this video.
Like, you do not have the right to do that, and it pretty much just makes you look lesser and lesser of a person, and more of like a kind of mentally disabled person.
Says the person trying to make an expose on someone he believes is still a little kid in kindergarten. But hey, I'm just gonna let you have the mentally disabled point though, because that shows you're running out of arguments against me, which is quite unfortunate because we still have 5 minutes left of the video.
So I think I'm pretty much done now. I've pretty much just roasted this bitch about like 4 times now, and I think we should just kind of pass the video on to Luke now and pretty much end it. So that's all from me, guys. Thanks for watching, and let's pass this on to Luke.
Oh goody, we get to hear from the Perrypuss bag himself. You know, Luke, with everything all said and done here, you've really shown me that you're an absolute lost cause on my end. You won't listen to anything I say here, and thus would leave me questioning as to why I'm still doing this video at this moment. But with everything these past 2 months have thrown at me, hell, arguably the past 4 months, there have been times that I have felt the need to actually speak up against my detractors who wish to continually smear my name through the mud of shit. And it took the guy who was my first ever repeat target to actually get me to toss all the formalities to the side and be as blunt as possible with both my target and my audience. I originally meant you no malice. Hell, I still don't mean any malice towards you or your friends who spoke up against me, but goddamn, this video has so far been so underhanded that it's scummy. I'll save that tangent for the final thoughts though. Till then, lay it on me.
A couple months ago, Doodletones wrote me in the comments section of one of my YouTube videos, saying that if I can't handle the criticism, then I can't handle YouTube. Oh, what? You don't believe me? Well, guess what? I have some evidence. BAM! On the screen. She says that the more we've had our back and forths, you kept showing you can't handle YouTube. But guess what? About 3 weeks ago, Doodletones posted a video about disabling her YouTube comments, specifically the hate ones. She talks about how she only blocked the haters and no one else, instead of disabling the entire comment section.
No, I stated that I disabled the comment section and blocked those who had the intent to harass me. You can do both, you know. Hell, social media sites have a block button for the intent to block those who wish to harass. Within the past week, I decided to turn off comments to my Mr. Medicare video, and have also decided to block certain people from my social medias. Well, that's a good start to your segment, Luke. Not at all paying attention to what was stated, just like back in March. Good to see the times haven't changed. It's been 7 months, and your brain still sucks.
She goes on to explain that she just doesn't want to have to deal with it, but honestly, no one's buying that crap.
I don't expect you to, because that's not what I had said. I mean, yeah, I didn't want to deal with the constant comments telling me to kill myself coming in droves, hyperbolically speaking, of course. But I never said that I wasn't going to disable the comments to said Medicare commentary. I mean, hey, it's just the comment section. It's not like the whole fucking video was privated, Luke. At least people can still see and rate the video if they still have a distaste for it.
Literally every single YouTuber on Earth has to deal with hate, but you know what? Doodletone, no, she's an exception. She doesn't have to deal with that crap.
Which is why the comments to my Eryizo commentary, my Just a Robot commentary, and even to a lesser extent my Lord Hugenot commentary, all which were cluster bombed with rabid fans, all do not have their comment sections disabled. This was pretty much an isolated incident of a video where the hate got so out of hand to the point that I felt the need to stop it. I'm aware I'll get hate. I'm aware I'll get criticism. And there's a difference between the two, and I'll deal with both accordingly. But the point is, yeah, I'm not a special exception, but I don't feel as if I am. You've already started breaking out the assumptions.
But as much bullcrap she says in this video, it proves that she just can't handle the YouTube comments, which is exactly what she said to me.
Sure, but I'm not the one who told the comment section to die. I'd say I handled it better than anyone gives me credit for, especially considering YouTube has a way to disable comments and is there for the same reason the block button is there on any social medias, because harassment online actually exists. And instead of just having to deal with the actual harassment, you can simply get rid of the people actually harassing you. When it comes to people who actually try to bring up points, like say Brainulator9, Brianna Burt Davis, or Skihound, these people don't get blocked because these people actually care to bring up arguments against me. Something you and your little friend fail to show me you want to do, considering how well you actually took criticism on you and showing me that you cannot handle YouTube, because you couldn't handle people who are actually giving you things to go off of and improve. I may have disabled comments, but you had a massive blow-up at a singular individual.
Seems pretty hypocritical if you ask me, fam. In that same video, Doodletone said that ignoring the problem was not helping. No matter what you do on YouTube, hate is always going to be in the air. Ignoring the problem doesn't help and it doesn't make it worse.
You know, Perrypuss, this is the most intelligent thing you've said to me. Too bad it's stuff that I was already aware of and have dealt with for as long as I have. The fact that you both deleted a video and put a video on private due to the backlash has me wondering how far you'd go with getting these comments. Yeah, that wasn't all that was in the comment section, but my case remains.
Being a YouTuber means that you just have to deal with it. Instead, she decides to block them and show her weaknesses.
Because it's not like the disable comments feature and block button both exist or anything. Being a YouTuber, you can do either of these. Look, my comment towards you was due to how you reacted, not what you did. You reacted by throwing a hissy fit with random acts of violence in mind. I simply got tired of the day-to-day kill yourself messages and did what any logical person would do and distanced myself from it. You want to call hypocrisy when there's yet to be any hypocrisy called. Now you want to quit being a douche canoe yet?
Towards the middle of this video, Doodletones decides to say something about fire ants and getting them out of your house. She compares her house to the entire internet, which is a retarded idea and really stupid.
Hey, I agree with this too, which is why I didn't compare my house to the whole internet, but instead just my channel. Which I think is a fair comparison to make, because when you think about it, metaphorically speaking, someone barging into your channel just to tell you to kill yourself on multiple occasions is like someone barging into your living room and pissing on your couch on multiple occasions. After the third time, I expect you to lock your doors.
The internet is more like the entire world, because that's exactly what it is in real life. Making your YouTube videos public is meaning, basically, you're just letting everyone on Earth see them if you want. And not every single person on... Oh my god, Alec! And not every single person on the internet is going to like you. So you're retarded.
And you're any better? All you have shown me is that in this time frame that you have finally taken away stuff that I have said, but become the complete opposite extreme to the point that someone actually gets to the point that they need to take people out of the question due to them just bringing a toxic cloud of fuck you with them, that you're gonna get your panties in a bunch again. It's really common sense. When it comes to people actually trying to give you advice, you don't tell them to kill themselves, and when it comes to assholes wanting to ruin your day, you don't have to take it. It's actually a very distinguishable difference that as a whole, just as a person, you need to understand. Otherwise, you're gonna wind up either being a total buzzkill or everyone's welcome mat.
Yeah, guys, so Luke had some pretty good points in that video.
And you in the video with your microphone suddenly not working, and since there's no more substance to cover, allow me to get on my soapbox for final thoughts. The underhanded tactics used in this video actually fucking disgust me. In fact, this is probably the worst video I think that I've ever covered. All this was a really poor attempt at smearing the name of an individual that you're still salty at 7 months after we both agreed to not give a fuck about each other. And attempted to hide it as legitimate arguments because you didn't want to admit the fact that I actually did try to help you where I thought it was needed. This started with me telling you to take off your nostalgia goggles. That was at worst what I did. And you guys go and try to point back at me screaming no you like a bunch of fancies while taking everything you looked up with minimal consideration and baseless assumptions. At least with Automagic Critic, he explained that he was only making his expose on me because he was salty. At least with Kiwi Farm, they bothered to look into what they were fucking talking about despite not caring about when this stuff happened. At least with Borg, he took it in stride by not actually watching the video because he knew he would react poorly to it. Hell, even give Agosto credit where it's due. At least he was funny. This was just disgusting, pathetic, and overall scummy. Ranker, my advice to you is script. A lot of your downfall came from inconsistencies in what you were saying to your thoughts not being fully organized. This being especially obvious when you take into the side rambles of my art on DeviantArt instead of showing us your evidence against me, and your side ramble of me when talking about my fans. You could also use a bit more time to research and use some goddamn common sense to back up your arguments as well. As for you, Luke, I still kinda stand by what I said back in March. There really isn't much more I can say to you. You're the only person I've seen take what I say and go to the extremes with it. Yes, there will be hate online no matter what. Yes, you're bound to get certain comments telling you to guzzle a gallon of bleach, and these people should be dealt with accordingly, and honestly, I feel like those should be dealt with how you want to deal with them. That said, you also have to understand that criticism and debate isn't hate, despite what some people would want you to believe. Also, despite what some people would want you to believe, I'm not here to run a hate channel. I'm here simply to debate faulty points and give critique and give advice to those I feel who need it, along with being entertaining to the audience that wants to be here. Can I be a little harsh? Well, perhaps, but that's not really something arguing is going to help. Sometimes harsh criticism is the best criticism to get, as that'll be the stuff that sticks around longer. You simply getting angry won't do anything to help you. It only gives me and others the impression that you aren't able to handle it. I'm not telling you to get off the internet or anything like that. I'm simply telling you to figure out the fucking difference between criticism and hate, as this won't just help you out as a YouTuber, but as a fucking human being. Now, do me a favor and crawl back into your little holes known as your YouTube channels. We don't need 7-month corpses hanging around any longer. Going down nostalgia lane is always a risky choice. Too many reckless drivers. Working volunteer work to deal with said reckless drivers isn't much better, as you have to deal with some very annoying guys. Doodletones here. So, Dylan Thomas has me reading a crappy pasta called The Truth Behind Slenderman, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. He wants me to sit here, read it, and then pick it apart piece by piece, which I am totally fine doing.